Clean up. Clean up on Isle of Shantae.
Shit, the town's on fire again.
Damn it,
It was never
Ryan.
not on fire.
I mean, not only is it on fire, but it's always cloudy skies and shit.
The whole
Oh,
city's on
waterfall,
fire.
The township's on fire. I gotta say, what is the point of bringing back the breakable blocks from?
This is
Pirate's
the,
Curse?
I don't know. This is literally the only thing that they use them for.
I guess
Yeah.
just to have them there, like, I don't know. Like, they don't really serve a purpose. They're just kind of there to give you something
get
to
the-
hit.
Well, just, something to hit, and just something like I was kind of thinking of with another friend earlier, just before we were doing this commentary, like a day or two. Maybe part of the reason for the Kickstarter was not 100% just this game, but getting the funds to make assets for everything, to make future Shantae games as well more cheaply.
You think
That
so?
would be,
I'm just saying a possibility. It's like, okay, now we have all the main characters, locations, staples ready to go. Now we can just
So
make
you
levels.
would think a 5th Shantae game would use a similar graphical style to Half-Genie Hero.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably. It makes sense, too, considering that Risky's Revenge was the basis for a lot of Pirate's Curse sprites. I think that's not entirely unlikely. I wouldn't say necessarily that that's like the main reason they did it, but
No, I wouldn't say it's the main reason. I'm just saying that's probably a little. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a little bit of what they're thinking.
yeah, especially considering that Way Forward I have not seen them being releasing as much lately, because all the way up through the early 2010s, they were still releasing games very frequently, like third-party games, like stuff like Adventure Time and whatever. And we're not. I don't think I've seen them do as much. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up a quick list.
Yeah, it makes you wonder
Yeah,
if whether or not the well dried up a bit.
or maybe they don't
Maybe
need to
they-
do it. I would be a little bit more positive, and say that maybe if they don't need to do those kinds of games, they won't, because so they've done a handful of there's still a handful of games that they've done that are licensed, like they did but they're mostly like on stuff like Apple iOS or
Yeah.
things like that. Like the only one that I can think of that looks like it would have taken effort to make is Goosebumps, the game, probably for the movie. Whereas if you compare it to like the 2000s and early 2010s, almost everything that they made was licensed, and they made a lot of games. So I think that maybe they're just more likely to, like, maybe they are in a better financial situation. They're actually making money off of games like Shantae and Mighty Switch Force, and so that they don't have to spend as much money on stuff like...
How much though? Because this game needed to be crowdfunded to be a possibility.
Yeah, it did.
Now, what was the difference between this game and, say, Pirate's Curse? Like, what's the story behind the funding behind Pirate's
They
Curse?
probably just did it with their
And
extra
why did they
funds.
need to have?
I guess it was so that they could justify having two Shantae games in development at the same time, because they were still working on Pirate's Curse when the Half-Genie Hero Kickstarter came up. So that's probably my guess. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not. None of us here are economists. We don't know the answers, but if I had to guess, like, I don't expect them to crowdfund another Shantae game. But I think that it could be likely that we could see another Shantae game. Probably not like within a year, but like, you know, I think they've been coming out every 2 years, and I think that's a good time frame for these kind of games. Like, you're not sick of, like, waiting 2 years for another one is, like, I think just about the right amount of time.
Well, I would say the gap between this Shantae and the next Shantae will be significantly larger, because I think they're going to be focusing on getting all the extra content out first for Half-Genie.
Yeah, you're right. And that'll be kind of like a small thing, and it'll keep, like, the Shantae stuff coming.
Well, if it's anything like Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight was kind of interesting, though, because I don't know if they can necessarily afford to do the Shovel Knight model, because I believe in a Shovel Knight blog post Plague of Shadows cost them about $1 million to develop, and they were getting no money directly from Plague of Shadows itself. It was all just money that they had earned from other things, and like you can expect a small boost in sales of the original Shovel Knight when they release a new DLC, but not enough to pay for the entire thing, you know? So
Yeah.
that's why Shovel Knight is an oddity in that it ended up selling over 1 million units and has become wildly successful. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to have Shantae Half-Genie Hero sell 5 billion units and all that, but I don't see that Shovel Knight is not the rule. It's an exception to the rule. So I can imagine that Shantae stuff will come out slightly more frequently, like every couple of months or so. Hopefully.
It's also an ideal, though.
Yeah, that would be ideal,
Like,
I would say.
No, but I mean, like, Shovel Knight is not just an exception, it's an ideal.
Yeah, that you can...
Like, it gives indie developers something to strive for.
Yeah, like... Man, that game is so good. We need to do Shovel Knight when it gets done.
yeah, but we need to wait until it's fully complete in 10 years.
Yeah, because they still got another... Because Spectre of Torment comes out spring 2017, but there's still King Knight mode after that, you know?
Are they doing all the nights?
No, just 3.
No, just the
they?
Kickstarted ones.
Just the Kickstarter. Okay, it's like, are they doing the entire Order of No?
No,
No.
it's just the 3. Okay. It's just the 3, which is a shame because I really wanted Propeller Knight to get a mode. That would have been amazing.
Maybe in a sequel.
That would be fun.
Because you know that's going to happen once all the DLC is complete for Shovel Knight.
Yeah, Shovel Knight sequel is going to happen. I just don't know if Yacht Club is going to make a sequel right away or if they're going to make something else. Because, they've been working on Shovel Knight since 2011, 2012. You got to imagine that they're getting a little sick of it, So working on something else, I would be all for, just if only because if it kept their brains fresh in some way. And you gotta know that they're got all sorts of different ideas saved up, because they come up with something, maybe it doesn't work for Shovel Knight, but they can do it for a different game at some point in the future.
Go, zombie hamster, go.
So it's treated like a big plot twist that, oh man, this machine's gonna explode. But honestly, even if he had the right blueprints, the Uncle
It
Man...
probably would have exploded anyway.
Yeah, probably. Just not...
Yeah.
Just unintentionally instead of intentionally unintentionally.
Okay, well, here's
Santa.
element number 2 that goes nowhere.
On the first day of Christmas, Risky gave to me dark magic in my body.
Yeah, but I'm serious. This is another plot element that goes absolutely nowhere.
Oh, the
Nega
Shantae.
I think it was
they really should have had a boss fight there.
The Nega Shantae was planned to be in the game. That was one of the Kickstarter goals
that's probably why she's there. But it's like, at least give us a boss fight there, or else it's entirely pointless.
This is just all a giant cutscene.
I would have because they're gonna do the whole inside the mind. Oh, your friends can help you. Don't give up. Kind of thing. Like a metaphorical boss fight against Nega Shantae in her brain would have been cool for this sequence, I think.
Yeah. Or I thought they were going to give us a sneak preview of Bolo, Roddy Tops, and Sky, because they're inside the room with us right now, all lined up nice and neat there. Nega Shantae would go on a rampage for a 1 level, and then we have to snap her out of it. But no, it just goes immediately into her mind, and then she snaps out of it.
Yeah. Also, something that was brought up is that Risky... some people had mentioned that they don't really get why Risky's being evil after Pirate's Curse. I don't think it was ever established that she stopped being evil. I guess she just developed...
No, they were just working together because reasons.
I think maybe there was some mutual respect there.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, I suppose that it is a little bit jarring to have her be the big bad guy right after the game that's supposed to humanize her a little bit. But I don't know. Again, I think that Half-Genie Hero... I think that the thing is that I wish that it was just a little bit more beefy, I suppose, in a number of different ways. Small ways, but it would have added... All those things would have added up, I suppose. Also, you know what, actually, maybe we shouldn't fight Nega Shantae again, because that boss fight was annoying in Risky's Revenge, and I don't want to do it again.
It's the final boss of Risky's Revenge.
Yeah, but it was really hard and annoying.
No, we're final boss.
I really hope that Nick Shantae, if anything, is a palette swap that we can get in a later update. I think that would be really cool. Because it's a cool color scheme, I think.
Kinda, yeah. Although, why is her portrait yellow eyes and her model red eyes?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Enemies have to stop when she's on this in the gameplay, but they can go slowly when she's in the portrait.
Okay.
Okay, so she says that they've been best friends for as long as she can remember, but doesn't Shantae meet Sky in the original Shantae?
No.
No, they know each other. They know each other in the original.
They were always friends.
Oh, okay. I haven't played that one very much, so
I think it's Roddy Top she meets in the first one.
I thought Bolo too.
No, she always knew Bolo and Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, but she does meet Roddy Tops for the first time in
Okay.
the first game.
All right. I haven't played.
Roddy Tops, you don't have a heart.
No, she has a heart.
I have plenty. I have spares.
Yeah, I love that Bolo's just kind of like, I don't understand what's going on, but just be better now, I guess, sort of.
For some reason, I imagine Bolo playing like a Belmont.
I think you know what I think he might, well, he's got that flail mace weapon in his artwork. I kind of imagine him kind of revolving around some of the items that you would see, like the extra items that you would get, like in shops. Like, he would have pike balls. Maybe you wouldn't like have them revolving around him, but he'd use them in a weird way, you know? Like, I guess kind of like a Belmont. Like with sub-weapons and stuff, I guess. I suppose. They've been trying to reach her for hours, which is why everybody's standing comfortably 10 feet away from her. They're working
the exact same spots they were in before.
Looking relatively happy.
I get the feeling they're still working on full-fledged voice acting for this game. That they'll add later down the road, because there are a lot of lines that are voiced.
Yeah, Chris.
In this, in fact, it's kind of distracting in a sense.
There are a handful of lines that are completely fully voiced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there were a few of them just in that cutscene right there.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice, because I think that the delivery that Christina Fee does for Shantae is fantastic. Like, it's exactly the voice I imagined for her when I played Risky's Revenge. And we don't get as much of it, but her Risky Boots is also very good as well.
Yeah, it's good voice acting. It's just that it's so sporadic that... Do you guys plan on making more of it, or is this just I don't know.
The thing, though, is that I don't know if I really want full voice acting for the entire game, because there's some lines that I don't think would work as well fully voiced.
You're right. Lake shouldn't speak. I mean, Zelda. What? I mean, what?
Oh, I love this line too. I've been assigned 1 billion hours of community service. I don't know why I find that funny. It just is. Oh, now I know what you're talking about when it comes to his helmet. Yeah, that is a little strange. Like the way the screws on it kind of change angles, sort of. Yeah, that's strange.
It's the illusion of a three-dimensional object.
Yeah. Okay, so this was...
Why is Risky leaving her clothes all over the place?
Oh,
I'm not gonna go there.
No. Remember, Pirate's Curse. Shantae found spares inside the ship, but they were too roomy for her.
So is it really a good idea to put to give... Well, you know, I guess eating all of the brains of everybody is kind of bad, I suppose.
This is a great remix of the Sky's theme.
It plays in the Sky's room as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this theme originally started as just a generic town theme.
But then they gave it to Sky in Pirate's Curse.
But then they gave it to Sky, yeah. So I know it as Sky's theme.
It's just... It's a very long song. It's very well thought out. but you only ever
Yeah.
hear it for 20 seconds at a time.
Yeah.
In this game specifically, there are a handful of cutscenes with Sky in Pirate's Curse, so you do get to hear the full theme there. There's a lot of songs in Pirate's Curse that are like that. Like, the sailing theme, when you're choosing your island in Pirate's Curse, is like a good 2 minutes long. You're only ever hearing the first 10 seconds of that.
Yeah.
Oh man, a mouse with the power to bite would become very dangerous.
No, it won't.
You know, we're saying all this, and it's probably like the best fucking end game strat we're not just seeing with the mouse.
Oh man, outdated commentaries at BrainScratchComms. That'll never happen. Squid Baron's portrait has very thick eyebrows, which is strange to me.
Not to mention, like, sometimes the ink blots are positioned where I swear to God he has a full head of hair.
What do you mean?
Like the ink blots behind the character portrait.
The ink blots behind the character portrait, they're stylized. Like,
Yeah.
Like I say, like Street Fighter 4 so much. But sometimes Squid Baron's portrait will change, and I swear one of the positioning make it look like he has a full head of hair.
Well, I'm gonna have to look at that
It's actually
when
kind
we
of
come
adorable.
back. Squid Baron's adorable. They need to. I know that they're joking, but they need to get on that. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it. Like he's got a flowy Fabio mane going on back there.
Yeah.
Alright, now my Risky's cosplay is complete.
Momocon, here I come.
Oh, we also know
Got
what
everything.
boot size Risky is now. So she's a size 7, I suppose. If you need to know that, I guess.
And back to Uncle's workshop.
Now you did any of you guys bother looking up the bad ending or doing the
No.
bad ending? Okay, so none of us really know what it is. I think it's a little bit, from what I can infer, at the very least. They give you, if you get all of the Risky's clothes, the uncle gives you the magic polarizer thingy, and they only ever bring up that it does something after you already do the final boss. So if I had to guess, it's probably not like Pirate's Curse, where if you get the bad ending, you skip a boss fight. It's probably just you get a different ending kind of thing. Nah.
Yeah, because you're absolutely right. The magical polarizer is used off screen.
Yeah.
Like, it's just told you that it was used. There's no cutscene to establish that.
Yeah, so, of course, obviously, by the time this part comes out, it'll probably, you guys will probably already play the game in the comments, so tell us how right or wrong we are. Well, I mean, you're already doing that, but be polite about it, please, I suppose.
You're funny, Toad.
Really?
And Mom said I couldn't be a comedian.
So, are we gonna go fight Risky Boots now?
Next part.
Next part, you cock tease.
The finale.